The catastrophic flooding in central West Virginia has officially reached unprecedented levels Tuesday night. The Sand Run stream near Buckhannon has shattered its all-time record, surpassing the devastating watermark of 8.3 feet set during the infamous 1985 floods. According to official National Weather Service hydrograph data, the Sand Run stream gauge observed an astronomical crest of 10.63 feet on Tuesday evening. This reading pushes well past the stream's defined major flood stage of 10 feet. I've never seen anything like this, and I've lived here for 37 years, Buckhannon Mayor Robbie Skinner told Metro News Tuesday night. Noting the severity of the ongoing disaster as local tributaries continue surging, the mayor added, "The river is still rising. We're not done yet." The National Weather Service in Charleston has extended the flash flood warning for northern Upshur and northern Lewis counties until 1 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Radar and rain gauges indicate that between 3 and 5 inches of rain have fallen since Tuesday afternoon, inundating communities like Weston, Stonewall Jackson, Jane Lew, and Hodgesville. Major interstate travel is severely compromised, with life-threatening flooding reported on Interstate 79 between mile markers 90 and 106, as well as multiple stretches of U.S. Route 33. An observer for the National Weather Service reported 7 inches of rain for the day at 7:54 p.m., 2.6 miles south of Buckhannon. The same observer reported 4 inches of that total came in 75 minutes. Governor Patrick Morrisey put all 55 counties under a state of emergency by 11 p.m. Tuesday. Many West Virginians are helping communities deal with flooding, property damage, and dangerous conditions tonight, Morrisey said in a news release. State and local emergency officials are working to assist those affected, and this declaration ensures we can quickly deploy resources wherever help is needed. I urge every West Virginian to exercise an abundance of caution, stay off flooded roadways, monitor local forecasts, and follow the direction of emergency officials. Skinner said the flooding was caused by a flash flood that hit around 2 p.m., followed by heavier rain that began a little after 5 and continued for about 3 hours. We had a significant flash flood event, but also the river, Buckhannon River, was coming up because of the rainfall upstream, up toward Helvetia and Pickens, and of course it all has to come down. But the river came up because of this flash flood event, Skinner said. There was no flooding reported along Buckhannon's popular Main Street or the West Virginia Wesleyan campus, which both sit a little higher up than other parts of the city. So Wesleyan is fine. The proper part of our downtown is fine, but it's kind of everything in between. If it's low-lying, it's flooded, Skinner said. Buckhannon resident Joe Kinzer lives a block and a half from the Upshur County courthouse. He said the community's storm drains could not hold the water on Meadow Street. He said the second storm is what put things over the top. The sky started getting very, very dark. Wow. Lightning started occurring. I heard thunder. It was just really, really dark, and the sky just opened up from about 5:20 until about 8:30, he told Metro News. Weston was also hit by high water. The shopping district along Route 33 took on water, including the Walmart. On the ground, the situation has devolved into a desperate fight for survival in the dark. Emergency radio traffic from Upshur County Fire and EMS paints a harrowing picture of a first response network pushed beyond its limits, with radio traffic at one point stating, "I don't know what to tell them at this point." Ongoing scanner traffic and field reports detail widespread destruction and life and death rescues across the region. Old Elkins Road. Active water rescues are ongoing as victims are being pulled directly from the floodwaters, prompting urgent requests for additional ambulances to the scene. Deep water has flooded completely through the local Walmart. Meanwhile, a vehicle at the Huddle House is submerged up to its windows, with responders unsure if anyone is trapped inside. Another responder noted, "The water by the Huddle House, it's worse." Crews report having to cut people out of their attics, stating over the radio, "We were banging on the roof to see if we could hear them." At least one residence reported having 20 victims trapped inside as the waters rose. Other reports indicated subjects were trapped inside vehicles, entirely unable to escape the water. Floodwaters are tearing apart the local geography. The bridge is gone. It's washed out, one responder relayed. Another reported that a floating structure crashed into a bridge and was just destroyed, leaving crews unsure if anyone was inside the building. In some neighborhoods, the current is so violent that responders noted houses have floated into each other. The breached flood stage marks a grim milestone for the region. The previous sand run record of 8.3 feet was established during the November 1985 Election Day floods. That disaster resulted in 47 fatalities statewide and caused catastrophic multi-million-dollar damage to homes, businesses, and infrastructure across 29 counties. With local waterways continuing to surge out of their banks tonight, and residents trapped in vehicles and homes, officials are urgently pleading with the public to stay off all roadways and seek the highest ground possible. Governor Patrick Morrisey on Tuesday declared a state of emergency for all 55 counties as severe storms continue to move across West Virginia, producing flash flooding, landslides, road closures, and other dangerous conditions. Morrisey issued a state of preparedness Tuesday afternoon as severe weather approached the state and directed state agencies to stand ready to respond. As the day progressed, a series of storm systems moved across West Virginia, producing severe thunderstorms, damaging winds, torrential rainfall, mudslides, and rapidly rising water in many communities. The most significant impacts have been reported in Lewis, Pleasants, and Upshur counties, where flooding and related damage have prompted ongoing emergency response efforts. The statewide declaration allows state agencies to coordinate resources, activate emergency response capabilities, and deploy personnel and equipment as conditions warrant. State officials are in close communication with county emergency managers and local officials to monitor conditions, assess damage, and support response efforts. Many West Virginians are helping communities deal with flooding, property damage, and dangerous conditions tonight, Morrisey said. State and local emergency officials are working to assist those affected, and this declaration ensures we can quickly deploy resources wherever help is needed. I urge every West Virginian to exercise an abundance of caution, stay off flooded roadways, monitor local forecasts, and follow the direction of emergency officials. Residents were advised to stay off the roads and move to higher ground Tuesday evening as life-threatening flash flooding spread across Buckhannon and central Upshur County, where multiple swiftwater rescues and significant destruction were reported. Between 3 and 5 inches of rain had fallen by 7:26 p.m., according to the National Weather Service. The flash flood emergency remained in effect until 10:30 p.m. Flash flood emergency for central Upshur County, including the areas in and around Buckhannon. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Seek higher ground now, the Weather Service said. This is an extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation. Do not attempt to travel unless you are fleeing an area subject to flooding or under an evacuation order. Chaotic radio traffic showed the magnitude of the event. People hanging from trees, bridges destroyed, roads washed out, structures floating down creeks, entire families in the water, cars abandoned, houses colliding into one another. At one point, swift water rescue crews were going from submerged house to submerged house, cutting holes in the roof to extract trapped residents. Others worked to evacuate dozens of people from the Wingate Hotel off WBUC Road by boat. As night fell, first responders were trying to obtain air assets with thermal cameras to help locate people stranded by the floodwaters, which continued to rise in some parts of the county. The sound of sirens pierced the humid air late into the night. The Buckhannon River near Sand Run crested at 8:45 p.m. Tuesday at 10.63 feet, breaking the record of 8.34 feet set on November 5, 1985, according to data from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. The gauge in Buckhannon was at 22.93 feet and still rising as of 11 p.m. into minor flooding levels, but below the 1985 record of more than 30 feet. Meanwhile, tens of thousands were without power throughout West Virginia in the wake of the storms. Restoration estimates wouldn't be available until Wednesday evening, according to Mon Power. St. Joseph's Hospital announced that clinic and outpatient appointments scheduled for Wednesday morning were canceled. Due to the flooding in Buckhannon and surrounding areas this evening, all morning clinic and outpatient appointments scheduled for Wednesday, July 22nd at St. Joseph's Hospital have been canceled, the hospital said. We plan to resume normal operations beginning at 1 p.m. Our staff is currently working to call and check in with any patients this will affect. Stonewall Jackson Memorial Hospital in Weston also canceled outpatient appointments on Wednesday. The safety of our patients remains our highest priority, the hospital said in a statement. All patients are safe, and physicians, nurses, and staff remain on site providing uninterrupted patient care. The Upshur County Courthouse, Annex, and Administrative Annex will also be closed Wednesday. The Upshur County Senior Center said it would be open as a shelter only. Several Main Street businesses, including Moonflower and Stone Tower Brews, announced that they would be closed Wednesday as well. Governor Patrick Morrisey declared a state of emergency for all 55 counties late Tuesday night, noting that the worst impacts were in Lewis, Pleasants, and Upshur counties. Many West Virginians are helping communities deal with flooding, property damage, and dangerous conditions tonight, Morrisey said. State and local emergency officials are working to assist those affected, and this declaration ensures we can quickly deploy resources wherever help is needed. The Upshur County Commission met in special session shortly before midnight and declared a local state of emergency as well. Upshur County has experienced widespread flooding resulting from significant rainfall, causing damage to public infrastructure, private property, roadways, bridges, culverts, utilities, and other essential facilities, the county said in the proclamation. These conditions pose an immediate and continuing threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of Upshur County and have disrupted normal governmental operations and emergency services. Flash flooding was reported throughout Upshur County after a powerful storm moved through around 6 p.m. The City of Buckhannon urged residents to remain where they were and avoid all travel unless they are evacuating a flooded area. Anyone in a low-lying or flood-prone location was advised to move immediately to higher ground. U.S. Route 33 was flooded at multiple spots between Weston and Buckhannon, including at the base of Buckhannon Mountain, near the Huddle House, and at the Brushy Fork intersection. Videos and photos shared on social media showed a portable toilet floating through Jawbone Park in the wake of a Lowe's truck and a Jeep being swept into a creek near Lincoln Street. Roads, bridges, homes, and businesses were destroyed. Surrounding counties attempted to send water rescue units to assist, but finding routes into the county was challenging, with dispatchers attempting to track which roads were passable. Crews from as far as Marion County were on scene, along with various state agencies, including the Division of Natural Resources and Department of Highways. Weston was also hit extremely hard by the storms, with significant flooding on Route 33 near Walmart, and high water throughout much of the downtown area. There, crews from Wheeling, Preston County, and other parts of the state responded to calls for help. With more rain possible overnight, the Weather Service warned that most flood deaths occur in vehicles, and that high water is especially difficult to recognize after dark. A flood watch remained in effect until 2 a.m. Wednesday. Additional thunderstorms could produce 2 to 3 inches of rain in as little as an hour, the NWS warned.
All right, I'm just outside of Weston, Route 33, and just past I-79 exchange, and look at this. That's Route 33, probably a half a mile, because there's the gas station. And I think if I zoom in, you can probably see the water. Come get through this.